What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers.
Uncle Bad, is this it?
But I think it's bad and cool over there. Looks like they should manage to skip the failure. Alright. No, that's not quite it.
Oh, too bad, but it's so pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks, I'll treasure it, always.
Those two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. I've got something else for you.
Hey, thank you, Uncle Bad.
Uncle,
Earlier, I ate with this with gummy.
Gummy. Oh, you mean gumshoe.
Dangerous. He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he liked to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be so sad if you saw it.
I'm not crying.
Cry.
Oh, it's the mister from before and Lady too.
Uncle, I don't think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being. You're not involved in the investigation, so it's far from the best. It's for the best if you do.
Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. So I'm related to the investigation.
It's not so Detective Bad. Yeah, I guess.
What? You were just scolding up the kids not to mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why?
People are free to investigate things outside the actual crime scene. Well, I must talk to Edgeworth. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? Oh, the problem with that, but I am curious as to what misuse we can enter.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else, okay?
Alright, I'm turning on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Yes, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay?
I won't forget whatever whoever did this. But in the absence of a proper piece of testimony and evidence, there was no one else who could have been the truth culprit other than the second police. She wandered off while I was pondering. Right, it's investigation time. Well, not really, that's the investigation. Let's stop, boy. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay.
It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sound like he's rather busy to be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's the ultra-strong perfume you was. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell still here. Perfume, huh? The sweet scent as the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. So, it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff, yes. Definitely a knockoff. Oh, Mr. Frank, No disrespect, but she forced one of those balls on me. Yeah, you can have it. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Now, Edgeworth, you will hold to this bottle without fail. Ugh. Why can't you ever be honest about how what I want? Let's use perfume. So now, we have a perfume you see wears just fantastic. Is that all you want to talk about? If so, I'm going back to the Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Take a recess. When you were in this room the entire recess, like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end there. These your stories consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in the lobby with Monsieur. Yeah, I didn't interfere following. You said you wanted to talk to me about something, so we came here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumpy's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations. Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that line, you seem to have a great sniper. Good. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KDA incident. And as I recall, I think the bag was the lead detective on the case. I know that the reason for the stain wasn't simply because you failed to guard take him, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew. I also knew that today's trial involving the Philippine Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KGA incident. Now then, detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind the relationship of Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KGA incident. If you already know that much, I guess I'd be on what to tell you. Relationship with Faraday. So, what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kenny Faraday well. I met him when he was a prosecutor, known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all on the Yellow Barroso case. They would touch a nerve. I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yellow lawsuit than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Mel was not the real Yellow lawsuit. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify at this time, to prove or disprove the accusation, but I guess I won't be doing that either. Since that there's more to that statement that meets the eye, I'm simply not digging into the Yellow lawsuit what's necessary. Sao ba ta? Ha?
Ito lang.
No, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the KJ8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear that what I'm about to tell. What the fuck? The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Further, you and I, as you already knew, we three were involved in the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Mono Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade. Yeah, but the case became tainted, all because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano group's ties to the smuggling ring, Kikayu, was killed. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devoret. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devoret was probably being intimidated by the big boss man, just another scapegoat. The boss man. The boss man of the Amano group. You can't seriously mean Mr. Ellis Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypnosis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it wouldn't have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed that the man who killed Kakayu, Manikochen, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquainted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, which I probably don't, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That fix.
Never. That wasn't Faraday's fault.
Absolutely.
It was mine. I wasn't
Bukan naman
vigilant.
nakaglasya tapos magpapasundo na.
Faraday kicker. I was supposed to protect them both. Yes, you did mention that, so... But how Detective Ban was supposed to guard her sister? But if I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into the trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fought upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I've learned from the KGA incident. I see. I couldn't predict Kakayu, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came with the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callista Yu. But when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the date of the verdict of the KG8 incident was handled down, was it not? Yes, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. Then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said her herself. But she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I even had heard of KGA incident had come to a close. We can really sent down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We got so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind to find behind the ring. Just the ring really that big. It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. But during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Birdie was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah, you was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended well this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, yes, you did say something to the same effect.
Itong lupugo. Hindi ba?
Have my own agenda. Still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident. I think that's what I was talking. And for that, you have not a single qualm about the funding of clone killer. Don't put the word in my mouth. I said no such thing. Only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what your reason is. Okay, a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of my Aunt Carla? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. Yadagarasi. You claim to know much about the Yadagarasi. Would you care to share what you know of him? About him? What you should be looking right for right now is proof of the murder's intent towards father and Rell. I agree, which is extremely why, exactly why I am asking you about the Yadagarasi. What? KG8 incident is this, and the second KG8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling, and in both of these cases, the witness was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there's one point in which they differ, and that is the presence of or absence of the great thief Yadagarasi. Mr. Rell claimed to be the Yadagarasi. However, in the middle of the character of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yadagarasi. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. You find that to be the least bit odd. Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and try to spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being a Yadagarasi were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yadagarasi. It will help you solve this case. Then I'll tell you the reason why we never caught the Yadagarasi. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me look through by accident. Ugh.
Maputupo.
It's still accidentally looking anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yadagarasi will always be one step ahead. First, the Yadagarasi always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yadagarasi always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yadagarasi doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see. So those are the Yadagarasi's special traits. It sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yadagarasi has never been caught on tape. Never tried to draw anyone's attention. and would never do something as slow bros to commit murder. That's how I know that Rel wasn't the real Yaragarasa right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this
Oy, so ganito lang pala.
was the evidence relating to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kadokian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu held the evidence. Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about. In that case, how can we be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whatever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what is sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. That's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a better much understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, I'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Band, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to the question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh shit. Oh, we're back. Kinda took a fucking pretty long break there. Alright, sent to my boy. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that his honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. What? I don't have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give a testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Franziska, there was no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence? Your Honor. Oh, yes, I can help you. Can I help you? Fuck. I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough at least to do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would expect that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of the evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. and maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I doubt that. We're probably halfway through this case. I've placed all of the evidence over to the prosecutor's bench for you. And what the heck is at the defense desk? I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Now, let me see this shit first. Not evidence of Miss Hubert Pandish studies. It's just sitting here on this table.
You know you can't just walk off with it, right?
Of course I do. Miss Hugh must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rell in that case if he was still alive. What's this? So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag.
You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right?
Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself, not just data about them, but be sure to thoroughly examine them while we still have the time.
Agreed. I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder too.
And why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
Ugh! Don't point your crap at me just because you don't know something.
And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also so real to see that knife up close. So, we have a knife, the gun, an envelope. What's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor?
They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation.
Detective Bad said that.
What a strange stroke of luck.
Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well go for it too. Don't rest until I've dissected every nook and cranny. The father's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it.
It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rockham Beckham down in here.
I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. And it would also appear that he had proved that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu, no matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key to prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it's clear enough. And they apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence. Yatagarasu's key? That's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell had the guilty party in the embassy murder. Was the guilty party. This organizer is a close straight from Mr. Faraday. I'd have to take my time and give it a full read later.
Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here. It appears to
be a key.
and a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle.
The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key? Mr. Faraday mentioned it as organizer.
The Yatagarasu's key?
Detective Bad said something earlier.
What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender had none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodokan embassy, the Yadagarasu. The Yadagarasu sent the evidence. Till now, the Yadagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. Was the prosecutor on both the Yadagarasu and the smuggling ring cases? That is to be expected.
That's this envelope. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even offered the opportunity to skim it up.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, you should, perfectly, and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mac Rose brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned before the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps he was, but the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rao was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton.
When I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera.
The Kodokan embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Not really. Up there, I guess that it is. Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither. Alright, sound the gun. This gun was originally used to kill the Kodokan embassy staff member. When the crimes were reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
And it's never crossed your mind that you see your writing crop for the wrong purpose. That's odd.
What is it?
Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Kodokan embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from?
Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
I need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in the Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francesca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. The knife has the same design as the Yadagarasu key. Right? No? Oh no, no. There was a piece of evidence. No. It's fountain pen. So it's either the handgun, the Autograph's key. Yeah, no one's ever talked about the Autograph's key. It's gotta be this one, right? This Yadagarasu key, Mr. Freddy mentioned as his organizer. This is how the key was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. Actually, let me check the details on this key. Yeah, because no one's ever seen this key yet. Is there anything this thing opens that we have here? Nothing. Nothing yet. We just need to look a bit closer, Francesca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and the ornament of the king's head will remind you of everything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. What a Yarigarasu key and this photo and the mother's knife. That's very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Barry mentioned the Yadagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say... It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Ugh. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail. Oh my fucking god. I can't believe it. It turned into the key. To think there is such a trick in this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key of the Yadagarasu stone. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. So somehow the killer, the real killer, knew that the key was a knife. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece and the evidence in his organizer. It's supposed that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. What the fuck did he not know, bro? I mean, there's a fucking button underneath a knife, man. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could be at the time who sent the key in the first place, the great thief Yadagarasu. He was definitely the killer, right? Then maybe Mr. Rell really was the Yadagarasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't it that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced Mr. Rell was not the Yadagarasu. Besides, a detective Bat said earlier
But when we questioned Rail about what was sent along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was.
I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yarago Rasu. Seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case.
Huh, nice. Pun intended, Edgeworth.
That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence, and the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone, indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a piece of evidence. A piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not among the evidence you laid out for me.
But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere in the crime scene?
There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, to find out lobby number 2. Oh shit! Yo, it's our boy! He's here. Young Agent Lang. So Agent Lang and Edgeworth did meet before they first met on the tree. Must have talked bad. But who was he with? I've never seen that officer before.
So did you find it? No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Yo, so you're the one running this show? Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are? I wanted to see a sprite. So that was young Agent Lang, I guess. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
So he was still an officer.
Does he even know what we're standing right here behind him?
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
Looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
So what mirror isn't for vanity's sake? It's for him to keep an eye out on who is behind it at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Zangfa to study his Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication.
He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. Somehow I can think of one young lady that Smith also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around at lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it has got nothing to do with the two of you.
God, what am I talking about, Edgeworth for Agent fucking Bad?
I highly doubt that it had nothing to do with me.
Oh, shit, my internet's not connected. Fine. If this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding from what happened in this room straight from him. Right, I'll be back. Right, boys, we're back. God, I've been taking long breaks for this game. I don't know, Ace Attorney is not that game you rush, so I just take my sweet ass time playing these games. God. Alright, what the hell were we supposed to do? I think we're about to logic battle my boy here, so let's see. Earlier you won the lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple bad return to crime scenes about success. That's what the detective says. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I'd asked you about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Ugh, boy. You'll see I will draw my answer from you one way or another.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit of our investigation?
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Tell the murder. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do, would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything?
You should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. You try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. I guess we present the knife. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I do. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. Give me a second. Give me a second, Detective Bad. Let me just not pay attention for a bit. Right, there you go. And look, kids, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and Mr. the Yatagarasu key? Or one of them? What? That's impossible. Looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Oh crap. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu key to prove that Mr. Rell was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? You guys are probably blind as shit, innit? I guess that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for. Yeah, that's right. Why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is that was what took Mr. Faraday's life? Detective Bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Detective Bad. Ah, crap. There's something stuck in my teeth. I got it out. I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. This is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. I was in lobby number 1 talking with Miss Yu. We were talking about something trivial, about trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. Saw Gumshoe moving around there, and then we all ran to lobby number 2. Sounds like the exact same story you told us before. Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Guessing you need to press, my boy. Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? That was a bad question. Answer me. Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together, that's all. So his answer remains the same as before, I see. She said she wanted to talk to you about something, but you talked about trivial shit? That was what she wanted to talk to you about? I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff, it was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. Right? Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Badhead was really the one for the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sound until the gunshot. Then you did not hear... You did not hear the fucking thing popping? Let me examine this first. Detective Bad, I honestly don't remember hearing anything else. Yeah. Possibly you were so involved in your conversation that you missed something. I've been a detective for a long time, and even if I were involved in something, I've got quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there has been some other strange sound, you can be sure I would have heard it. I suppose with this detective, that's probably very likely. So the gunshot. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. Now why did the two of you dashed out into the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot, and we knew it came from somewhere nearby. And how did you know that it was a gunshot? In my line of work, you hear enough of them to know. I suppose it's only natural for the detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. Okay, that seems pretty trustable. But given the circumstances, the only person I could think of whose lives would have been in danger was Faraday. That's why I ran out into the hallway right away and hit where he was. Saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran to lobby number 2. Goofing around? What do you mean by goofing around? Was he eating his food? Detective Gumshoe was there in the hallway. Yeah. Why didn't you attest to that earlier? When I saw Gumshoe, it was after I heard the gunshot. Having seen him then didn't change the fact that he still could have done the deed. Ugh. It sounds exactly like what Detective Bud told us before. However, there's something in particular we should be asking the detective about. No, just might be no one else that no one else knew that the knife was actually the Yadagarasu's key. Reflecting on that, perhaps there are other things to know now, but Detective Battles, yeah. Yes, that should be my angle of attack. So it's the balloon, definitely. Hey, sure you didn't hear this balloon. Detective Bud. Does this balloon? Oh shit. Does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. No, and so you know about the ghost balloon. Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up with for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found at the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that the balloon pop. But 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad, and if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So, well, don't give me a so. We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet, naive cracking. But since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and all of this place seem to be rugged? Because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. But what is that supposed to mean? Doors and walls are super thick and window. Paints are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound absorbing material. Then you mean since I was shut up inside lobby number 1. Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No. Good. I knew that he was going to sing. That means that the scruffy-faced testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he would have heard any sound of a struggle. That's also why I'm only so natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. Okay, and yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how is it that you hear a gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? The rooms are soundproof as you say they are. Then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? Okay, I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it than Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means
what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
boils down to this. There must be a reason. It's the how detectives bad and Gumshoe had a gunshot they fairly couldn't have.
It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
The state of the crime scene. Wait, can it be? It's that ultra strong perfume he wears. He smelled some of it.
Ah,
way too noisy.
surveillance video. Oh, the piece of evidence just disappeared. Where did it go?
Oh shit, they're giving us all the fucking shit. Alright. A window in lobby number 1 was open to another perfume suspects. Yep. They heard it because both the windows were open. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped with barred windows, but how would Gumshoe hear it? Oh, because there was also a window. Was there? No. Only at the fragrance the perfume managed to escape from Detective Lobby number 1, of course. The corporal effect can move freely through these open barrel windows. This. No, what else beside a smell can go both in and out of an open barrel window? The answer is sound. So, no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both the Philip Lobby on 101 and Holy Origin, that explains how the sound of the gunshot could be heard at both locations. Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard. But where did it originate from? The windows were open, so both windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard. But where did the gunshot originate from? Because the gun could have been fired inside that number 2, because the gun should have been fired from yards away, so... Oh, shit. Oh, we just connected this shit. The missing piece of evidence is a video. Not just the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me. That when it was played during the trial, the video sound should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that's the evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Shit, but you investigated this room when we were at 1. So she probably took the fucking tape. Nah, man, I'm very suspicious of you. If she is not the killer, then okay, sorry. But she's the only fucking suspicious party right now, for me, I guess.
Stop wasting time thinking, and let's start looking again.
It's not a waste of time to think. Have I figured out where we should look?
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television. the TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go and examine whatever you like. Try to examine this fucking TV. Not worse until I've inspected every suspicious looking cranny. First fucking move would be right there. It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape at the side.
Looks like the tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but
Detective Bad, could it be alright if you and I verify the content of this video? Sure, knock yourself out.
alright then. Let's rewind and see what we have here.
If I remember correctly, the footage of real killing the staff member. Should be about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Almost stunned. I should be about right. Now then, let's see.
Oh my god.
This is the footage from Mr. Wells shooting the embassy staff member.
I knew it. The missing piece of evidence. The surveillance video was here all along. The sound. What's the meaning of this?
I suppose that Detective Bard has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then?
Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was.
And from where they heard it from. Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced.
Now, to show what the gunshot detectives Gumshoe heard was, and from where they heard it from.
Bro, they heard it from the fucking TV. It's fucking obvious.
No, crap.
Earlier when Detective Gumshoe touched us, it made the most terrible racket. You mean when Scruffy turned the television on, right?
Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, it seemed more like when a video scene suddenly stops its least. It did to me.
I wonder why that is.
Yes, with the spilled perfume in log number 1, the windows were open for that piece of evidence sound, but also displayed out. Now that they showed what the gunshot detective heard was, and through where they heard it from. They heard this. Yeah, okay. Why the fuck would I deduce it using a fucking window? And the door and the windows to the crime scenes, namely this room, that we're in, were closed. The killer could have used a gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard a gunshot.
All the windows in Lebanon 1 and number 2 and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in those locations could hear it.
Ha! But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why wasn't that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? Now we checked that the murder weapon was indeed that gun. So, when the crime took place, the killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used a gunshot in the surveillance video to do so.
So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. And we all know who it is. It's Miss You. Oh, I thought it was our boy. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu's asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murder, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu.
It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. Now come along. I want to hear what she has to say. Out of what appears that the time has come to uncover the truth. Oh shit.